Hi guys, and welcome back to Clearview Driving. Today I'm doing another driving lesson with my nephew, Lovejit. Now in today's lesson we're doing mock test style driving because he's actually got his driving test booked for about 2 weeks time. Now we've already been doing mock test driving for the last week or so. There were a few mistakes made, but he's learnt from them, which is good. So we're just going to continue with that. Now for anyone that's new to the channel, don't forget to like the video, comment down below what you think of Lovejit's driving, if he's making any mistakes, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Alright, so we're going to do sort of 10-minute sessions, so I'm going to get you to drive for 10 minutes where I'm just giving you instructions. If you make any mistakes during that period, I'm not going to say anything. After the 10 minutes we're going to park up somewhere and then we'll talk about any mistakes if we need to correct them, okay? Right. So the aim is to make sure you're driving safely. Okay, it doesn't need to be a perfect drive. Even if you think you've made a mistake, don't panic, try and stay on top of it. Just try and forget it. That's the best way. Okay? Alright, lovey, whenever you're ready, let's start the engine and drive off whenever you're ready. At the end of the road, turn left. On approach to this first junction, Lovejit forgets to use his mirrors and indicate for the turn. He does look at the junction, but this could have been an issue had a car been approaching from the distance at speed. Take the next road on your right. Ahead of us there is a crossroads where we are crossing the main road. If you look in the middle of the road you can see a hazard line start to appear, and just ahead of the hazard line you can see a giveaway line. Lovejit notices the road marking and slows down and stops behind the giveaway line to look both sides. The end, turn left. This is a main road where the speed limit is 20 miles per hour, so it's much more fuel efficient to be driving in third gear than it is to be driving in second gear. It was foggy this morning, but fog lights were not necessary as we could still see 100 meters in the distance ahead. Alright, on the roundabout I want you to follow some signs. So I want you to follow signs towards Ruislip and Uxbridge. The last minor fault with use of mirrors before signalling wouldn't necessarily be a minor fault on this occasion as there was only one lane in the roundabout. But as a new driver, you should always be using your mirrors before indicating, especially when you're leaving a big roundabout. If Lovejit had done this on a big roundabout where there are 2 lanes and he exits with no mirror check, this would definitely be a minor, but it could also be serious had somebody been trying to change lanes at that point. The speed limit on this road is 20 miles per hour. It's painted on the road throughout and also signs on the side on either side throughout the road. If there are no signs but street lamps, that indicates that it's 30 miles per hour. The speed on this road used to be 30 miles per hour, which is why the sat-nav still reads 30. But if the road says 20, then that's the new speed limit and that's what you need to stick to. When passing a bus, always pass slowly and watch out for pedestrians that may be crossing in front of the bus, and use mirrors but no signal to come back into your side of the road. Right, so on the next roundabout we're not following Ruislip anymore. I want you to take the 4th exit towards Harrow and Northolt, so 4th exit please. As Lovejit enters the roundabout, he can go into lane 3 or 4 as his lane splits into 2 as soon as we enter the roundabout. But in order to use lane 3, he needs to check his left mirror as vehicles from the left may straight line the roundabout, just like this vehicle does here as we enter. Once you're in this lane, you now need to follow the marking towards the left, which is going to guide you outwards and spiral you into lane 3. Lovejit nearly goes into the wrong lane, but he checks his mirror and gets back into position. This is a traffic light controlled spiral roundabout. Once in position, you simply need to follow the markings and stay in your lanes. The roundabout is gradually moving you outwards until your exit. As Lovejit had started the roundabout in the 4th lane, the one that was closest to the roundabout, as he's going round towards his exit is now in the overtaking position. With this serious fault, Lovejit did check his mirrors, but his approach speed was too fast and he indicated too late, causing the vehicles behind to suddenly slow down. Turn left. And if you could just pull in and park up on the left here before the van, just next to that tree. Just past the tree actually, okay? Thank you, that's great there. Alright, brilliant. Have a little break. Now, how was that last 10 minutes for you?
The beginning was alright, but then near the end I think I made a few mistakes.
Okay, would you say there were any serious mistakes?
When turning into the left road over here.
It was very slow, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just needed to get the gear change in and be on your way. There's a few mirror and signal sort of faults coming in. Then we had, at the very beginning when we first started, that left turn onto Allenby Road. No mirror checks, no signal left. Remember quite early on, right at the beginning, that first left turn, you didn't signal for it. Yeah? Then there was, I'm just going over the main key points. You know when you got into that roundabout, when we were taking the 4th exit now, as you've started, you've gone for the rightmost lane, which is fine. Once you've gone in, that white line was kind of moving to the left. You needed to keep with it. You kind of veered off right towards Greenford, and then you checked left and you came back in.
Yeah.
So as soon as you've started in any roundabout and your lane kind of goes round, as it wraps around, you need to follow the marking to the left, because that's how you're going to spiral. We talked about that on that roundabout, haven't we?
Yeah.
Okay. And then obviously once you came off that roundabout, you were in the right hand lane, which is the overtaking lane. You were just happily driving in that lane, weren't you? Should you not have gone back to the left lane?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did move back, but that's because I said we're turning, so you've moved back. But you should be trying to get back. And I know we had an issue with the lorry last lesson where you were trying to move back too early. But once the road is straight, speed up, check your mirrors, get back. Okay? So a minor fault for that use of, minor fault for position normal driving on that one. Alright, so we're going to go again. So what are the points that you're going to be careful with this time round?
Making sure I check mirrors, signal each time.
Yeah.
Every time I turn.
Yeah.
And
speed limits.
the speed limits, yeah, definitely.
And then also on roundabouts, once you're in, follow the marking to the left, unless you know you want to go right. Then kind of, if you're going like to the last exit or you're doing a U-turn, then you would kind of wrap around again. Otherwise you'd spiral out. Okay? But yeah, just start using more mirrors and then get that gear change in for that small left turn.
Right.
Okay, so when you're ready, we're going to go again. How does it feel when I'm sitting here in silence and not saying anything?
Scary.
That's the bit people find the most daunting, because no one's saying anything and it's a bit, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah, even in a test, I would find it
The examiner will make a bit of conversation. But yeah, don't get lost in conversation. Anyways, that's me done now. Okay, at the end of this road, turn right and then right again. Okay, now we're going to turn right and then left, just where that silver car is coming out of. So right and then left. If you could pull over and park on the right hand side of the road, just behind this white car's fine. Don't worry about the drives on this occasion, okay? Thank you. Good, you don't need to switch off the engine though. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'd like you to reverse back for about 2 car lengths, keeping reasonably close to and parallel with the pavement as you carry out this exercise. Try not to touch the pavement.
Right.
Thank you. Drive off whenever you're ready. this road, turn right. The road that we're crossing is 40 miles per hour. When the right-hand side of the road clears up, Lovejit moves halfway into the junction and the traffic from the left gives way. As the traffic in front is moving slower, they're more likely to give way. I'd like you to follow some signs now for a little while, so I want you to follow signs towards Heathrow. The lane that we're in takes the second and the third exit, but as we're going past 12 o'clock, it's really important to have a right indicator on at this moment so that the vehicles behind realise what you're doing. Lovejit's driving nicely up to the speed of the road, making sure to keep up with other traffic along this road. At the next roundabout, Heathrow is signposted as the second exit, which is the road ahead. Both lanes go ahead. As we enter the roundabout, the white van is sticking out from the left and Lovejit should have checked his mirrors towards the right before moving over. He gets a minor fault for this. Coming up to this roundabout, we're turning right third exit and the right-hand lane splits into two sections. Lovejit goes into the first half, which should be the normal driving position towards the exit. But as we went into the roundabout, Lovejit gets into the wrong lane, which goes towards second exit. As he enters the roundabout, he moves towards the left too far, going into the lane that's painted towards Heathrow. He realises his fault and then carries on and takes the exit towards Heathrow. Going the wrong way is not a serious fault as long as you're driving safely according to the road markings. In our last lesson, Lovejit made the same mistake on this roundabout where he got into the lane that goes towards Heathrow. When he realised, he tried to change directions and suddenly moved into the lane that turns right, causing a lorry to slow down and to use the horn. up to this sharp bend, Lovejit notices the slip road approaching. He makes sure to speed up to the speed of the road so that he doesn't slow down any of the vehicles on the dual carriageway. He matches the speed of the road. As we're driving on the dual carriageway, we take the exit towards the roundabout where Lovejit went the wrong way, so we can repeat taking the third exit again. At this point, Lovejit should have been indicating right to make it clear that he's turning past 12 o'clock. As he goes into the roundabout, he gets into the correct lane to turn right. As we move off from this position, Lovejit should now be aiming for the far left-hand lane in order to take the third exit. He does use his mirrors, but he doesn't move towards the left lane. This could have been a serious fault had there been a car on his right, as that car on the right would also be trying to move towards the left to take the third exit. From this position, Lovejit has now got to change over from the fourth lane all the way towards the first lane to get into the normal driving position. Park up on the left just by the tree. That's great there, thank you. Secure the car. And just switch off the engine as well. Thank you. How was that second? Okay, would you say there were any serious faults in that one?
I wouldn't say serious faults, but I got a bit confused on the roundabout and then I had to go the wrong way. Yeah, so that you dealt with that nicely. You got into the lane for Heathrow, and then you knew you couldn't go right from there because it would have been dangerous for others around, and you dealt with that really safely by just carrying on to Heathrow. That was great. I'm really happy with that. But when you did that roundabout again the second time round, I didn't love it just purely for the second half. So you started at the correct point, you're going round, you went halfway through, you're in the correct lane. Now the two lanes on your left at that point were going straight, weren't they? Yeah. Which means your lane and the lane on your right can go right. As you've moved off, you've signalled right, you're moving round, you're checking the mirrors, but then you've just carried on and you've cut back into the third lane. What about the person on your right that would be turning right? Where are they going to go if you've taken the third lane? Wait, what do you mean?
So you know you're going round, right?
Yeah.
There are two lanes that turn right.
Okay. The two right ones.
Yeah, so you're waiting in the roundabout and there are two lanes turning right. Yeah. You're in the first of the two and there's a lane on your right. As you go round, there are four lanes. As you've gone round, you're checking mirrors to the left. There's nobody on your left. You've made sure it's clear, but you've gone round, but you've stayed on the third.
So I was supposed to go into the second or first?
First, yeah.
Because now the person next to you, they're also going right. You're kind of leaving them in the fourth lane, which no longer exits. So you're checking left, but you're staying right. So you very easily could have had a serious fault there because you're not checking the right to stay right. You should have checked the left like you did.
And then moved into the left.
And moved left. You know you're leaving.
Okay.
Remember, you always want to move back to the left at the penultimate exit. So you could see that was second exit. So check the mirror, move over, and then you can exit. Because when you exit and I said turn left, you had to jump over by about 4 lanes.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have had to you wouldn't have had to do that if you were already on the left.
Yeah.
So every time you're leaving a roundabout, you need to try and move back to the left if you've got the option.
Alright.
Okay? Alright.
So there were no serious faults?
There were no serious faults, but that one at the end where you've got back into the third lane could have very easily gone serious had somebody been on your right.
Yeah.
The right was empty the whole time, so you kind of got away with it, but it's not great. Okay? So you need to be alert. Even if you're staying right, you should check right. Because you were busy checking left, but staying right. Does that make sense? So let's talk about the lane changes and the slip roads. Remember how we've talked about leaning forward?
Yeah.
Yeah? You're kind of just using the mirrors and the blind spot's quite big. I need you to really make the most of that seat rather than having to just sit back and...
So you don't have to look back like that? Or
No, at high speeds I wouldn't suggest it. I'd rather you kind of lean forward, use the mirrors because it opens your blind spot anyways. And when you're in that position you can see a lot more to the right, and then if you wanted to you can always just glance over, but you don't want to turn around at high speeds. You don't really want to. You can use the mirrors to kind of help. Okay, so that's the end of your driving lesson today. We are going to go back to practice that roundabout again so you can have another attempt, but remember, just try and make your way left. You're checking, you just need to move over now. Okay, but how did that feel doing that mock test kind of drive?
Scary. That was actually scary.
Is it because you know, oh, I think I'm making a mistake, or you're thinking, wait, how's it going?
No, it's like when I feel like I've made a mistake but you don't see it.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. It's just
You're having to analyse everything yourself, really.
Yeah.
On the go. But no, it's definitely an improvement from the first one to the second one, as you can see. So we're going to keep this going now until the test.
Alright.
Okay, we're definitely looking to do more of a mock test drive next lesson, the whole thing. Okay. But yeah, thank you for everyone that's been watching. Hopefully you can learn from Lovejit's mistakes here. Don't forget to like the video and comment on what you thought of his mistakes. And subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Thank you for everyone that's been watching. Bye.